Welcome back to NFL SnapWire. Let's get into it. John Morton's exit from Detroit didn't shock anyone paying attention. His one-season run as offensive coordinator always felt temporary, and once Dan Campbell took over play-calling duties in Week 10, the writing was clearly on the wall. Campbell never handed those duties back, and from that moment on, Morton's future was sealed. But while Morton's departure felt inevitable, what matters more is how fast the Lions are moving to replace him, and who they're targeting. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, Detroit has scheduled an interview with T. Martin, the Baltimore Ravens quarterbacks coach and one of the key figures behind Lamar Jackson's MVP-level development. The timing is no coincidence. Detroit wants answers, accountability, and above all, offensive leadership. And they're not alone. The Washington Commanders are also reportedly interested in Martin, which tells you just how respected his resume has become across the league. T. Martin isn't just another assistant riding the coattails of a star quarterback. His football roots run deep. As a player, Martin was a standout at Tennessee from 1998 to 1999, leading the Volunteers to a 22-3 record and a victory in the first-ever BCS National Championship in 1998. He's been around high-pressure football his entire career, and he's thrived in it. Since joining the Ravens organization 5 seasons ago, Martin has steadily climbed the coaching ladder. He began as wide receivers coach in 2021 and 2022 before moving into the quarterbacks coach role, a position he's held for the last 3 seasons. Before that, Martin spent 15 years in college football, working as a receivers coach, passing game coordinator, assistant head coach, and offensive coordinator. That versatility matters, especially for a Lions team that needs more than just quarterback tutoring. In 2023, Martin's first season coaching quarterbacks in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson delivered one of the most complete seasons of his career. Jackson threw for 3,678 yards, accounted for 24 total touchdowns, and finished with a 102.7 passer rating. Numbers that reflected not just athletic brilliance, but maturity, efficiency, and command of the offense. That evolution didn't happen by accident. But what makes Martin especially intriguing for Detroit is that he's called plays before. At USC, Martin served as offensive coordinator, working directly with Sam Darnold during his rise to prominence. He understands how to design an offense, manage a game, and adjust on the fly, areas where Detroit struggled in 2025. Let's be clear, the Lions' offense wasn't broken statistically. They finished 3rd in the NFL in passing, averaging 268.6 yards per game. Jared Goff threw for 4,564 yards and 34 touchdowns, proving once again that he can operate at a high level. The problem wasn't talent. The problem was consistency, structure, and feel for the game, and that's where John Morton fell short. The offense flashed at times, but it never found a reliable rhythm. After a Week 9 loss to the Vikings, Dan Campbell stepped in and took control, a move that stabilized things but also highlighted the lack of trust in Morton's play calling. That's not sustainable long-term. And Martin isn't the only name on Detroit's list. Other reported candidates include Commanders quarterbacks coach David Blau, Seahawks passing game coordinator Jake Peetz, and even former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, a diverse group with different strengths. Still, Martin's combination of quarterback development, play-calling experience, and championship pedigree makes him one of the most compelling options available. The urgency behind this search comes straight from the top. Dan Campbell didn't sugarcoat anything when reflecting on the season. Not good enough. We didn't get in. We underachieved, Campbell said. I'd give myself a freaking F. That honesty echoed throughout the organization. This was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. Instead, Detroit finished 9-8 and missed the playoffs entirely. After winning the division in back-to-back seasons and going 27-7 over the previous 2 years, the regression was impossible to ignore. Injuries piled up again. The offensive line struggled to protect Goff consistently. The run game sputtered, finishing 14th in the league. And close games that once tilted Detroit's way began slipping through their fingers. Exit interviews told the full story. Players were frustrated, disappointed, Angry. They knew they let something slip, and that emotion has carried into the offseason. GM Brad Holmes has echoed that sentiment internally, reinforcing that the standard hasn't changed. The Lions believe their Super Bowl window is still open, but only if they make the right adjustments now. That's why this offensive coordinator hire is massive. Detroit isn't just filling a vacancy. They're redefining their identity heading into 2026. The next OC must bring clarity, confidence, and control, someone who can maximize Goff, stabilize the offense, and help this team close games again. Whether that ends up being T. Martin or another candidate, one thing is clear, the Lions know 2025 wasn't acceptable, and they're acting like it. Because next season isn't about potential anymore. It's about results. That's it for today's breakdown. Make sure you're subscribed to NFL SnapWire for the latest coaching moves, league news, and insider analysis. We'll be tracking every step of Detroit's offseason moves, and we'll catch you in the next one.